are team number 2, and we're going to present from GATT to the WTO. These are the team members, and these are the topics we're going to cover. First, what is GATT? GATT was the first agreement on trade. It is called the General Agreement of Tariffs and Trade, and it was consummated in 1994. It is an international contract based on trade and negotiation. Its goals are to contribute to the improvement of living standards, achieve full employment, improve world resources, develop the production and exchange of goods, and promote economic development. And when it first started, it acts as a sort of trade standards and as a trade negotiations forum, and it has the international tribunal, which is how it was working when it was still in place.
And now, what was the GATT agreement? In the 30s, the world was going through an economic depression. This led countries to market protectionist measures, high protectionist tariffs, import and export quotas, and exchange controls. During World War II, concerns were raised that these restrictions will permanently affect nations if no attempt was made for establish the multilateral trade network that will link nations in the trade war period. As a result, GATT was the fruit of these efforts. Despite its appreciated solidity, GATT was, for the 47 years of provisional agreement and organization, the original intention was to create an institution to deal with the area of trade, international and economic cooperation. The basic underlying principle of GATT was that trade should be equal and free. Countries open up their markets equally to member nations.
Members of the GATT. So the main countries. Alright, so there were 23 main countries. So on January 1st, 1948, the General Agreement entered into force with 23 member countries as members. Between those are Brazil, New Zealand, Australia, Belgium, United States, Chile, and Canada, and many others.
the WTO began when the GATT, the WTO began where the GATT failed. So, in the First World War, the abandonment of the gold standard system and the proliferation of commercial trade, this led to the creation of this organization. And well, the flexibility to create more money or without giving it like this new organization to lead to a transition to a new contract system for gold was not the most important. And well, the very good system of the World War II on the existing currencies were linked to the US dollar, which was convertible into gold. And also this time where the conversion began lead to the Great Depression, where some countries with protectionist measures, and these protectionist measures were that the countries developed the currencies to make it cheaper and more competitive. Okay, so we're going to talk about some differences and similarities among these two. Well, one difference is that the GATT was just an agreement, while the WTO was an organization. Only certain concepts are covered, while the WTO responds to open commerce. The existing collateral agreements, while the WTO has multilateral or most favored had multilateral agreements with most regulation. And well, the GATT lack of institutional basis, like I said, it was just a paper agreement, while the WTO was established as an organization. And well, the GATT generated international protectionism of WTO encourages other countries to collaborate among them. In the similarities, both of them talked about the federal agreement, and they were international trade managers. And well, the WTO is based on the GATT ideas.
So, as I conclusion, the GATT was born as an effort by past war nations to unify trade and grant all members to benefit of participating freely and fairly in international trade. The only seat took the place of the GATT and at the same time became one of the three most important financial relief institutions of the second half of the 20th century, which may continue to serve as a platform in